Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Spiritual Growth Journeys. My name is Kimberly Palm. If you are new to this channel, welcome. I'm glad to have you here. So today we are going to be talking about the two major issues troubling everybody in the Patriot community, the spiritual community, all the people who support Mr. T. All the awake people are freaking out over two topics right now. We are going to talk about those today. But the first thing I want to do, I'm going to ring this little bell, Tibetan bell, to kind of, I don't know if you can see it. Here it is. We are ringing this for two reasons today. We are ringing it in honor of all the children who have been taken by the bad guys, all the children who have been trafficked and harmed. And we are also ringing it to clear your energy, my energy, and any, let's just call them crispy critters or entities that may be lurking about while you're listening to this video. This is going to make them run like hell because they don't like this sound. So to all of the demonic entities, go F yourselves. Anyways, all right, so today I have on my show with me in a minute here, in a few minutes, we're going to bring her on, the beautiful Miss Medium Michaela, who is my soul sister, and Yeshua is with her, and he's going to be speaking through her. And the reason I'm having her on is, so last night I sat down with him to answer these two questions that are plaguing everybody, and I took a bunch of notes, and then this morning I asked a couple more questions, and he said, I want you to bring Michaela on, and I'm going to speak through her about artificial intelligence. So, all right, so the two problems, so let me mention what they are, and then I have an important announcement. We're going to talk about the artificial intelligence, the deal with Mr. T, basically making a pact with the devil at this point. He's promoting the MR something that they created for the planned demic. That thing, he's shoving it again or promoting it again on everybody except for the CANCER. And that is not okay. That is a very bad thing. Very, very bad thing. And he is promoting this guy who's a technocrat, AI guy who wants to turn, artificial intelligence guy that wants to turn everyone into the Borg, basically, works for the dark side. And based on scanning that guy and looking at how young he looks, he's supposedly 80 and he looks really youthful. What I'm picking up is he's either a shape-shifting repto, or he's doing a ton of adrenochrome, or both, possibly, okay? And this is my opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only, everything we say here. We're going to be speaking in a lot of code so we don't get shut down. But in my honest opinion, the guy that he put forward, he seems very reptilian to me. And definitely drinking the juice that makes you look more youthful, at the expense of all the innocent children and babies and teenagers that they do terrible things to get that. So that's what I'm picking up energetically from this person. Okay, that's what I pick up energetically. That's the vibe he is giving off to me. And again, this is just an opinion. I'm not stating that's what he is or whatever. You can come to your own conclusions, use your own discernment. But these three technocrats that Mr. T is making deals with are definitely evil. They want to assimilate us all into the Borg and create a dystopian future where most of humans are gone off the planet, and whoever's left after all the others have been killed off with mandatory pokies. They take those people and they basically turn them into robotic machines that are fed off of and their consciousness and all that gets loosed by the Matrix. You know, all of these evil beings can basically suck everybody's energy like ambrosia. So anyways, that's my opinion. So that's the number one thing everybody's upset about is his first day out into the public. He's out there aligning with Satan, basically, and people are really freaked out about it. And the second thing everybody's freaking out about is people in the spiritual community talking about the 3D, 5D shift that's going on now, or that they think is coming, the big timeline shift. We are actually in the middle of it right now. It's a process. It's already started, but it's a process. So anyways, I first am going to address the 3D to 5D shift. And then after that, I'm going to talk a little about what I think about or what Yeshua told me about the AI last night, what he told me about it. And then I'm going to have Michaela come on, and she's going to, she's going to be his mouthpiece for him. But I have two big announcements. Number one is, unfortunately, I had to cancel the women's retreat. I had to refund everybody who signed up. And the only reason we were doing one in Rhode Island in the first place is because the last year's one we had on the West Coast, a lot of you ladies came forward and said, oh, I'm on the East Coast, or I'm in the Midwest, and if you have one in our direction, I will come. Unfortunately, all of you who said, you know, if you do this in my area, I'll sign up, none of you signed up. And then I did have some people sign up, but not enough to cover all the expenses of this thing. And I want to share with you all that planning retreats and events takes a lot of time. It's very stressful. It takes hundreds and hundreds of hours. When I did the last retreat, I didn't even recuperate any of the money or time or energy that I expended on that thing. I mean, I was making pennies an hour, even at the most, if anything, when I paid myself in the end for all the hundreds of hours I put in. I was literally not even making a penny an hour. And then this year it's been the same thing, just putting in tons of time. And then in the end, if we didn't have enough people signed up, we weren't even gonna be able to cover the expenses, which are thousands of dollars to rent a facility, to have meetings and retreats in, or rent a house, or rent a room at a hotel, all these places. I used to work for the Chamber of Commerce many years ago, and I used to plan a lot of events. And even back then, to rent a conference room at a hotel was like 10 grand a day. Now God only knows what it is. It could be 20, 30 grand a day. I don't have that kind of money. I'm not a wealthy person. I'm a hardworking middle class person. Maybe someday I will get Service to Humanity funds, and I will be able to hire somebody to run conferences for me and do all the PR and do all the marketing and all the hundreds of hours I put in. But I can't do this anymore. So I made, so announcement number one is I had to cancel my women's retreat. And it's because I found out the hard way that the area that we'd picked apparently gets booked up with weddings a year in advance. And so when my ladies who had signed up were trying to get hotels in the area, they couldn't find anything available that was affordable, and all that was left were $500 a night and up hotels, and they couldn't afford that. So a lot of them were going to drop out anyways, just because they couldn't find a hotel room. So that was a problem. So I actually went to Yeshua and I asked him, I'm like, I don't understand. Why did you allow me to go through with all this if I was going to cancel? Well, here's what happens in life is sometimes our timeline gets impacted by other people's timelines. So every person's on their own timeline, their own agenda, their own manifesting, their own life plan and learning lesson, but other people's learning lessons and timelines can actually impact ours. And so what happened is what I call my adopted daughter, my daughter has a best friend she's been friends with since she was like 7 years old or something. And that little kiddo, spent years hanging out at my house, and now she's a beautiful grown-up woman. And she got engaged, and she actually chose the end of my women's retreat, like a day after it ended or so, to have her wedding. And so Yeshua, this was a choice that she made way long after I planned my event. So I started planning the event back last May. And then this is many months later, the date she chose for her wedding happened to exist with my my retreat. So what he told me is that I need to be at that wedding, which of course I want to because she's important to me. But he said that if I would have had the retreat, I was going to get sick. Either some point on the retreat, I was going to get sick and come home sick, and I wouldn't have been able to go to the wedding. And so he said that the way that it was going before that girl made her decision, I could have had the retreat, gotten sick, come home and been sick at home and overcome whatever I had, because I get over colds really quick with all of my stuff. I use a lot of stuff. And he said I would have overcome that. I would have been fine. But he said that because she chose that date, I would have had to miss the wedding because I would have been really sick at the time, and I wouldn't have been able to go and cough all over everybody at a wedding. So he said that's why the angels kind of intervened there and made it impossible for me to make this happen. And the bad news of all this, and this is the second news, is that I made a very harsh decision to never host another event ever again, unless I get awarded some large sum of money that makes it where I can hire somebody to do all of the marketing, all the promotion, signing everybody up, creating the websites, running the whole thing for me, doing all of it for me, the whole thing. Where I just show up and teach and give people lots of hugs and attention and sisterhood or brotherhood, because I want to have men at future conferences too. I want to have conferences for men and women. But the only way I'm going to be able to do this is if I get awarded some big giant sum of money so that I can go hire a team that can put these things on for me, because it is exhausting for me to do it all by myself. And then to have it canceled, and also I'm risking my family's financial funds that we need to pay medical bills, mortgage on our house, car payments, all that kind of thing. We need the money to survive. And if I go and put 20,000 into an event and then nobody signs up, I would lose that money, and I would be, as they call, shit out of luck. I'd be in a lot of trouble, and my family would probably want to divorce me. So I made the harsh decision to not hold any future events. If anybody wants to invite me to a conference, I've been speaking at conferences since 2011 all over the world, and I've been speaking in front of large groups of people at events since 1995. So I have 30 years since 1995. So that's 30 years of speaking experience and teaching large groups of people. I used to have to speak in front of hundreds of businesses at Chamber of Commerce meetings. We'd have like 200 business people there, and I'd have to get up and talk to them and sometimes teach them stuff. So I've been doing this for a really long time. It goes back to 95. And I would love to go show up at somebody else's conference because they do all the work and then I just show up and teach. But until I get financial backing from an angel investor, if there's some angel investor that would like to give me money for a conference fund to put on conferences, and hire somebody who knows how to plan these and do all the work and do all the marketing and all the running the websites and doing all that, that would be freaking awesome. I'd really appreciate it. And I am hoping to manifest that. I'm working on it. I am working on manifesting either an angel investor or some major sum of money coming in for service to humanity projects so I can do these conferences worldwide for men and women. And that is the goal. So those are the two announcements. Is I had to cancel, and I'm kind of stuck with this. So let's go ahead really quick. I'm going to go over this real quick, and then I'm going to bring Michaela on. So basically, as far as the timeline split, what he said is I went to him and I said, okay, everybody's freaking out about this timeline split. What does it mean exactly? Because everybody has a different description of what it is. This is his description. He said, when the thing actually completely happens, the big event, what they call the purification wave or the love wave, whatever, where we really split off, where we actually completely split off, where we can't see the 3D anymore ever again, and they can't see us ever again. He said the first thing that happens is he said that he is going to be leading the angel armies to take and this is his language, okay? So as we say, don't shoot the messenger. This is not my language. This is the way he talks. He was trying to be funny. He was trying to get me to laugh. He said, I will be leading the angel armies to take the radical vipers to the 3D planet. the radical vipers. He calls all the bad guys. Who is that? The cabal, the pedos, the evil people on this planet, you know, just all the evil narcissists, psychopaths, murderers, killers, rapists, drug dealers, all those people. He calls them the radical vipers, okay? And he was being funny. He has other words for them as well. He usually calls them the satanic beings most of the time. He thinks they're all satanic. But he said he's going to be taking them to the 3D planet. He said then he's going to show up to all the people on Earth who are ready to see him. Everybody who's ready to see him is going to see him. Then the next thing that's going to happen, the whole Earth, it's going to be like, they showed me like a video game being paused or a TV show or movie being paused with the remote. They're going to pause everything. Everything's going to be frozen in time. Time will be standing still. And they call that like a stasis. And it's really like a freezing of the time. And when that happens, the people who are staying here on the earth and turning it into New Shambhala, heavenly earth, or the golden age, the real golden age, not the fake one they're talking about right now on the news. The people staying on earth will be put into that stasis, and they will be leaving their physical body. Their physical body will stay here in the stasis, like stuck. But their light body, I said, what's going to come out? And he said, the light body. I said, not their consciousness. He's like, no, it's not the consciousness. It's their entire light body is going, you're going to leave, and you're going to go, guess where? You're going to go to the higher dimensions. You're going to have a reunion with your moms, your dads, my case, it would be my entire family, except for my husband and kids, because my parents are gone, my grandparents, my aunts, uncles, my a lot of cousins that I was very close with, they're all gone. My baby brother, they're all on the other side. So we're going to have a reunion with them, and also with our star family, like any extraterrestrials that we're related to from previous incarnations. All of our star family, all of our soul family, we're going to have a little reunion party with them. And then you're going to be sent to a training school where you're going to get trained for how to deal with life when everything comes back on track on Earth again. You're going to go through training. All of the light workers and star seeds will go through specific training for leadership, for healing, for spiritual stuff, for teaching, setting up the new financial system, setting up the new schools, setting up the new food systems, the new medical systems, all of it. You will be trained in all of those areas, all of you, depending on what your role is. And each person's training is going to be completely unique. I know where I'm going because he told me where I'm going. Michaela and I will be together, actually, along with Stellar and a bunch of other people that are going to be working with Hathor, Mary, Mother Mary, Miriam and Magdala. We're going to be working with them and getting our priestess training completed. So I asked him, how long is this whole stasis split thing going to last? And he said 3 months. And this is like the second or third time he's said 3 months. He always says 3 months of our time. And then he said, during that time, the entire earth will be healed. Everything will be healed. The water will be healed. The animals, the plants, the trees, the birds, the fish, the dolphins, the whales, everything's going to get a healing. And then let's see. Oh, and this was my favorite part of his message. He said, after this process is over, the satanic people will never be able to be on earth again. Actually, he said they will not be able to be on earth anymore, is how he said it. So that was his message about that. And then I said, is there anything else you want me to tell everybody about that? And he says, just tell them Yeshua loves every one of you. And that was what he said. And then I asked him about the AI thing with Mr. T. And he said that there's both good and bad AI. AI was created billions of years ago by extraterrestrials. The bad ETs have used it to take over entire universes and assimilate everyone in those universes into the machine or the beast, what they call the beast system. The mark of the beast, that 666 thing, that's not about Satan and Lucifer. That's about the beast system, where the AI, or what Ismail Perez calls the Ahriman, whatever he calls it. That's where they take everybody over. They literally assimilate us into the Borg. What they show you on TV is the real thing, people. Star Trek with the Borg, that was real. That is literally, they're showing you what they've been doing for billions of years, going from star system to star system, assimilating into all of the natural life into the machine or the beast system, and destroying universes, like just sucking them up and chewing them up and spitting them out like they're nothing, like literally grinding up planets in their path. And they have big giant machines that can do that. They can literally be, they're called destroyers of worlds, and they can go through and they can literally eat a planet. They've got all of this technology. So there is good AI, there's bad AI. The Galactic Federation and what we call the positive ETs, the positively polarized ETs, they use a good form of artificial intelligence. And then there's an evil dark form, which is the beast system. And now I'm going to bring on my beautiful sister, Michaela. Do you want to come on, Michaela? And there she is. Yay.
Hi, Susie. Hi, everyone.
Hi. Hi. Do you want to first make the announcement about your book? That because Yeshua told me to tell everybody that he wrote a book and Michaela helped him, quote unquote. It's his book. He wrote.
I'm just his conduit.
Yeah, she is his conduit. So do you want to tell everybody about the book and the name of the book that he wrote?
He wrote it. It's actually called The Way to Peace: A Journey of Self-Transformation.
That's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
And it's, I believe, 33 or 34 chapters.
That's awesome. I read it and it was wonderful and it made me cry. I cried because of, having been there 2000 years ago and listened to him giving these speeches that are really similar. Like a lot of the stuff in there was similar to what I was used to hearing 2000 years ago. And he can be kind of repetitive, but I mean, it's just beautiful. It's just all pure love. It's the whole book. If I were to boil it into one sentence, it's pure unconditional love. Like you can feel the love oozing out of every page as you're reading it. Like you literally feel the love. That's what I felt. I felt like I was being like put into a capsule of love and like getting infused with it as I was reading this whole book, because she sent me a copy and it was incredible. And I'm very honored that you sent that to me. So thank you.
Of course. And thank you for helping with editing and all the stuff that you helped us with.
You're welcome. Yeah, I kind of looked it over since Michaela's, in a wheelchair and not really able to do a lot of typing and stuff that other people can do. I think she did voice to text with it, and then and then we had to edit
well, he did voice to text.
He did it. Yeah, he actually talked. He talked through her.
Over and let him.
Yeah, he talked through her, and he actually did the whole book through her. And and
it was very emotional but very rewarding for me as well.
I'm sure it was,
because like Kimberly said, we were both there, so it was kind of bringing back memories for me as well.
Yeah, it's hard to, it's like, it makes me feel happy. Like when I hear him, it's such a mix of emotions, because I feel really happy when I listen to him. But then at the same time, I feel really sad because I get kind of sucked back like in time, and I can remember everything like fresh, and it just, exactly. I feel those feelings, and it's just a mix, a mix of emotions, of feeling like I'm like there, like listening to him like talk, and, but I'm not. And it's weird. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oops. My camera shut off. What's that all about? Remember that happened earlier? Maybe you can ask him. You should ask him why my camera keeps shutting off. This has been going on for the last 30 minutes. We were working on it earlier. Yeah. We were working on it earlier. So anyways, so are you both ready to talk about the artificial intelligence? Because people are really freaking out, and his last message that he gave me was to tell everybody to ignore the news and instead spend your time going within and talking to Creator and the Christ within. And then he also told me he wanted everybody to learn how to ground center and protect themselves. So that will be the last thing we do before we shut off this video today, is teach everybody that and talk to them about that, how to ground center and protect. So, whoops. Camera just went off again. Can you see me or hear me at all?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can't see me?
No, I can see you now. I just couldn't see you at first.
Okay. I'm gonna leave it. I'm hoping if I don't touch anything here, that'll it'll just stay. The
Okay.
worst case scenario is I put it on the normal camera. I wonder. Let's see if I can do that so that we don't have any more issues. I just don't want to have any issues while you're.
Okay. And
Okay.
while she's doing that, loves, I'll just say we did our grounding and protecting before coming on this video. So if you do not like anything that we are saying or speaking about in the video, please feel free and find another YouTube channel, as we are not responsible for what is being said or done, if that makes sense. And you cannot get mad at us because they're Yeshua's words, so get mad at Yeshua, not us. Just to clarify that.
Okay. So can you see me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the computer camera, which is a really grainy, not so nice camera. I was using the fancy schmancy camera, but it just doesn't seem to be working very well anymore. I may have to buy a new one. They're made in China and they seem to break about once a year. I noticed that the
Right.
cameras from China, they break about once a year. So I guess time to get another one. Anyways. All right. So I'm gonna sit back and zip it and let you guys do your thing.
Okay. You ready, Sissy?
Yep.
Okay. And I will see you, loves, later. Okay. And take what resonates and leave the rest. And indeed, once again, greetings unto you, beloved, precious, holy children of light divine, for that indeed is what you are, as you are but love, as I am indeed your beloved brother, friend, and equal, the one you've known simply throughout time and space as Sananda Yeshua the Christ. I come not for myself, but indeed for you, beloved, for indeed I love you, dear ones. Does that make sense for you? We have been asked by our beloved Kimberly to speak yet again, where one perceives oneself to be in the one heart of Christ, that is indeed shared by all beloved friends, on the subject matter of your negative AI or artificial intelligence and your, should we say, positive AI. And indeed, dear one, as we have told our beloved, there is the negative polarity of your duality and the positive polarity of duality, dear one. Does that make sense for you? It is in truth setting forth one's intentions forth first, dear one. Does that make sense for you? No matter what one will do or say, it is starting with your intentions forth first. Your intentions is key, dear one. There are negative beings that have, do we say, to use the word of your duality, trying to take control of light and love beings through AI, dear one. Because indeed AI can be manipulated by that which is darkness, dear one. Does that make sense for you? But indeed, not all artificial intelligence is what you would term bad, dear one, or negative. There are good intelligent AI that are from the, should we say, galactic beings of light that surround you, dear one, that are meant to heal and uplift your Holy Mother, beloved Earth, dear one. But indeed, many upon your planet are, let's just say, freaking out about where you are heading with the AI, should we say, drama. Does that make sense for you, beloveds? You are freaking out, therefore intensifying the fear. Do not fear, do not fear, do not fear. For what you focus your intentions on, you create more of, dear one. Does that make sense for you? You create more fear. You are what you create. Does that make sense, beloveds? In your artificial intelligence, it can be used to help your society or shut it down, dear one, depending on what you would perceive of it to be. Does that make sense, beloved ones? You are the controllers of your own duality, dear one. This is why when Yeshua wrote the book, A Way to Peace, a journey of self-transformation through my beloved, to illustrate the point of your power, as you are a divine sovereign being, dear one. You are powerful. You are the Father, Mother, outborn consciousness, dear ones. Does that make sense for you? This indeed is why these, should we say, moments are critical and therefore crucial in your times of darkness, because you are beings of light and love, being tested by the dark ones. Do not fear, do not fear, do not fear, for you are only intensifying it, dear one. Does that make sense for you? Your positive polarity AI was created by your Galactic Federation to help the planets billions of years ago, but was, should we say, usurped by darkness to some degree to control humanity. This does not mean, beloveds, and please listen carefully, this does not mean that all technology in your world of duality is bad, dear one. Does that make sense for you? Does that answer your question, beloved?
Yes, and last night you told me the first thing you said to me was the deep state is being taken down and Mr. T is playing a game like he did, like Jenny said he did in 2016, where he puts
Indeed.
on an act and he sticks the bad guys right out front for everybody to see. So
Indeed. The one you know as Mr. T, that is in your higher offices, we will say, is working, to use a word of your duality, undercover, portraying himself as going to the dark side, dear one. Does that make sense for you? But he is indeed, should we say, helping the love and light beings, that which we are as one, to take down the darkness, therefore exposing that which is not of love, dear one. Does that make sense for you? He is doing this purposefully to expose all of your drama that needs to be unveiled, dear one. So that in truth, your Holy Mother, beloved Earth, can be restored fully to her former glory of light and love, that which she is. Does that make sense for you, beloved?
yes.
This one is not a, do we say, bad guy. This one is a being that is of light and love, working with the higher dimensions to bring a great change to your Holy Mother, beloved Earth, and her inhabitants, dear one. Does that make sense for you? All of your duality is playing tricks on you right now, dear ones. Tricks of fear, tricks of control, tricks of unsureness, dear one. But do not fear, do not fear, do not fear. Go within, go within, go within to the Father, Mother, outborn consciousness and ask, Father, Mother, show me thy truth and let your will be done through me, dear ones. Ask those questions and it shall be given unto you, dear one. Does that make sense for you?
Yep.
Does that help answer your question, beloved?
Yep, absolutely. You basically told me last night, you said that we're not going to be taken over by the bad AI on this planet, that you guys in heaven will not allow that to happen. So that it will
We
not
will
be
say,
allowed.
dear one, you have an interesting saying in your world of duality that goes, we got your back. And that we do, dear one. We, the beings, the brothers and sisters of light divine, have your back, dear one. All of you precious beings of love and light, you are safe and guided in love by that which is the Comforter Creator and the Ananda Collective, that which we are. Does that make sense, dear one?
Yes, absolutely.
Do not fear, do not fear, do not fear. For one, Yeshua tends to we say, repeat oneself to reiterate your love vibration, to reiterate your power, to reiterate your peace and oneness. All things that I have done, you will therefore also do. Does that make sense for you, dear one? The same power that dwells within me also dwells within you, beloveds. You are the power. The power is I am. The Father, Mother, God, our Buddha consciousness. It is indeed that simple, beloved friends. Does that make sense for you?
Yes. Yes.
This is a crucial time for one to understand how to simply go within. And we have been asked many times, Yeshua, how do I go within? How do I do this? What do I say? Go within means be still and listen to the still small voice of love within you, shutting out your roar and din of your own duality perception and focusing on your inner world. Of your inner world, that is in truth the only thing that matters, beloved friends. Your inner world is light. Your inner world is love, peace, harmony, oneness, and is not defined by your negative programming or therefore duality, dear ones. Does that make sense for you? You create your own duality, dear one. It is time to create your duality of peace, harmony, oneness, unity, love, simplicity, abundance, hope, freedom, power. It is in your hands, dear one. Use your thoughts, words, feelings, and deeds wisely, dear one. It is all in your hands, beloveds. Does that make sense for you? Does that help answer your question, beloveds?
Yes, you missed one thing, and that is laughter, because you were making me laugh
We
last
were indeed
night.
getting to that, dear one, because in truth, laughter is the best medicine, dear one. That is your raising of therefore vibration. When one is, should we say, to use a word of your duality, we will say, instead of being in the dumps, where you're down and, should we say, in your depressive state of consciousness, laugh, love, celebrate that I am within you, beloved, as you are the raiser of the vibration of consciousness. Stand in your power. Own your Christ self, dear one. I am the arisen Christ that is within me. Own it, claim it, be it, perceive it, dear ones. It is indeed that simple. What you declare and decree becomes so, beloved friends. As when Yeshua has indeed written this, shall we say, masterpiece of phenomenal work that my beloved helped me do for all of you in the collective, dear one, to simplify just that, dear one, to simplify your power, to simplify your love, to simplify oneness, unity, and the true teachings of one Sananda Yeshua. Does that make sense for you, beloveds? That indeed, dear one, is where your planet is heading to your new Shambhala, dear one, or your heaven to earth. Does that make sense, dear one?
Yep.
As indeed greater things are coming to your holy mother, beloved earth, and her inhabitants that are indeed choosing to stay. But those beings that are, should we say, of darkness and are not so nice to others will be choosing to leave the planet, dear one, and go to another, as we say, prison planet. But this is not to be feared, but only embraced with acceptance and light and love. For indeed you are not alone, beloved friends. You have your team of spirit guides, loved ones, ascended masters, and your Holy Father, Mother, God, Creator within you, dear one, to guide you and assist you at this time. It is indeed that simple, beloved. Does that make sense for you, beloved ones?
Yep.
Does that make sense, beloved?
Yep. There's two more things that we discussed last night. Is it okay if I mention them?
Of course, dear one.
Okay, so I asked about the financial system because it's another thing people are freaking out about is the financial system. And you said that there's going to be a gold and silver backed quantum system with a whole new type of money, and that it's going to
Indeed.
be temporary because there will not be any money or financial systems because they will disappear within 20 to 30 years from now. So you said we will have a new system that's the gold and silver back quantum system temporarily, and then the other one will disappear. It will all disappear in 20 to 30 years because we will be in a high enough frequency that we won't need money systems anymore.
You will indeed be able to manifest your truest heart desire, dear one. Does that make sense for you?
Mm-hmm.
What you want to manifest, you will therefore manifest outwardly into your physical world of duality, dear one. Does that make sense, beloved?
Yes.
You are the creator.
Mm-hmm.
You are the manifester, dear one. So if one perceives, I need, should we say, more financial gain, then you shall receive it, dear one.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense, beloved?
Absolutely. And that's how it was during Atlantean times, and also even
Indeed.
before that with the ETs that have lived on Earth
It
for
will
millions of years.
It will indeed, shall we say, return to the place of peace, or your Atlantean time, which was indeed a place of peace until darkness fell upon it, dear one. Does that make sense for you? As both of you, beloveds, were there. Were you not?
Yes, we were.
Indeed.
With our
And both
crystals.
of you are critical to this momentous time in your duality, as you are beautiful beings of light and love that we surround with compassion, tenderness, and mercy, dear one, and gratitude for both you and the collective, dear one. Does that make sense, beloved?
Absolutely.
As all things are yet changing, and therefore causing your planet to be in a state of, should we say, panic. Do not fear, do not panic, do not do anything but go within, go within, go within. Trust the I am within you. And what does that mean? Trusting the I am within you means simply to surrender your, should we say, 3D programming of your perceptions over to that which is the Father, Mother, God, Creator, beloved. Turn it over and say, not my will, but thine be done. And watch what happens, beloved. Does that make sense for you? Letting go of the outcome. Letting go of, if this outcome doesn't happen, what will happen in my life? Because many upon your planet, beloveds, are in fear of this. Not having control of your outcome, dear one. Stop seeking control and surrender to love, and let love guide you, dear one. As indeed, love is a key, dear one. For love transcends, heals, embraces, allows, and accepts all things as it is, dear one. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah.
It is indeed that simple, beloved. Does that make sense for you? As you are beings of light and love, you can therefore manifest more light and love in your world of duality and perfect creation, if you so choose to focus your intentions and attention from fear into love, instead of breaking the cycle or breaking your attention from that truth, that what you are, from that love, that what you are, by watching your social media platforms or your darkness platforms, as we will say, as it drains your, should we say, vibrational energy. It takes away the truth of your beingness because you're being programmed by the dark ones that are underneath it, dear one. Does that make sense for you?
Yep.
Seek not to be interrupted by your breaking news social media outlets, dear one, because in truth, they mean nothing. And through you, the Father, Mother, God, Creator, knows and does all things. You indeed know nothing, but the Creator knows and does all things through you, beloved. Does that make sense for you? Does that make sense, beloved?
Yes, it makes absolute sense. And you also told me that you wanted everybody to ground center and protect every single day, which is what I was doing or been doing in private sessions with people. But
Indeed.
I'm not doing private sessions anymore. So today, I think Michaela and I are going to teach everybody how to ground center and protect so they can do that.
Actually, beloved, we are going to help you
Okay.
with this.
Awesome.
We're going to
Awesome.
help you.
Okay. So I have my way of doing things. I'm going to let you go ahead and talk about the best way that people can ground center and protect themselves. And then maybe I'll add in, I guess, my
We will say,
ideas.
dear one, it starts with their intention, what they're intending to ground, center, and protect from, what they're intending to get from the grounding, centering, and protecting, dear one. Does that make sense for you?
Hmm.
And the grounding, centering, and protecting only works to the degree that you want it to work, dear one. The more one is open, the better it will work for you, beloved. Does that make sense for you?
Yes.
Do you want us to start, beloved, or do you want to start?
Um, well, I can just say I guess how I do it with my clients every day. And then if you want to add to that, that would be awesome. Thank you.
Of course.
Okay. So what I always tell people is there's multiple ways you can ground yourself. You can walk barefoot on the grass, you can sit your bottom down on the ground and meditate with, connected to the earth. You can hug a tree, you can put your back up against a tree, you can put your receiving hand up against the tree to connect with the earth. You can use crystals to ground, like hematite, black onyx, and red jasper. Those are three of my favorite grounding crystals. You can use a grounding mat. There's grounding mats that you can plug into the wall that you can use. There's also grounding mats made out of rocks that you can use, that you can go barefoot on. And then my favorite way is just through your intention, which is closing your eyes and imagining you are becoming the tree of life and you're growing roots out of the bottom of your feet, maybe even out of your tailbone down into the earth. And then your branches are coming up out of your crown up into the sky and connecting with Source Creator, Mother, Father, Abun. And then just bringing all the green healing energy up from Mother Gaia, up through those roots into your body and connecting with the heavens, and then maybe bringing some white, what I call diamond frequency light, down from Source Creator down and filling your whole tree, your whole body, mind, spirit up with that. And sometimes you can even open up your heart space and breathe in. And that's actually how we center. Centering, I do it through the breath. And I have you take 3 deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth and really send it into your heart space and open up your heart and get centered in your heart space. And then the protection part is all about calling in your protection, invoking a multi-layered shield of protection around your body, mind, and spirit. And I call in Mother, Father, Abun, Archangel Michael, and my guardian angels to place that around me. Or you can even just say, I invoke a multi-layered shield of protection around my body, mind, and spirit across all time, space, place, dimensions, realms, realities, and universes. And the reason that we say that is because we are all multi-dimensional beings. And if you're like me at all, when you're sleeping at night, you're taking off and you're going across time and space and into other dimensions and fighting all kinds of entities off, trying to destroy the demons in their tracks and that type of thing. So you need to make sure you're covering every part of you. You're covering your astral body, your emotional body, your physical body, your mental body, your consciousness, your light body, all of that with protection. And so that is the way I do it. So what, Yeshua, what would you like to add to that to everybody?
We will say, dear one, we did a few chapters in our recent book that we would recommend for all of you to go view for oneself. And the one chapter we want you guys to focus on, beloveds, is meditation and prayer, that chapter. Because what our beloved Kimberly is discussing with all of you, beloveds, we showed you in a way that one would understand it. The power of prayer, the power of the spoken word, the power of your intentions, the power of your openness from the heart space. Feel it within your beingness, beloveds. So when one is, should we say, grounding, centering, and protecting, what we will have our beloved Michaela do is simply say, I ground my roots in Mother Tara and extend my branches all the way up through Father, Mother, God, Creator, who made my Holy Spirit, as we are one. In that way, beloved friends, shall we say, you cover all the bases when you are beginning to ground oneself. Does that make sense for you, beloved? Does that help answer your question, beloved?
Yeah.
Is there any other questions, beloved?
No, well, I'm looking back at the notes I took when we were talking last night. And I was asking you, how soon that you thought, I guess, the big event is going to happen, or what we call the love wave or whatever, the purification. And
Indeed.
you keep saying soon, but my issue with this is you've been saying soon to me for the last like 5 years.
Beloved, we will say it is coming soon in your time, but we will say let go of your attachment to outcome and let things be as they are, as they intend to unfold, dear one. As the Creator is back at the helm yet again, dear one, and all things are going to be unveiled in your perfect divine time. As we will say through our beloved, as more shit will indeed hit the fan for the dark ones, as they indeed know their time is limited.
Yep. And you keep telling me my biggest lesson on earth is patience. So I need to learn to be patient.
Which you are slowly getting there, beloved. Yeah. You're slowly getting there. But your biggest thing and the collective's biggest issue is having the need to know when things are going to happen, when they're going to be done, instead of letting it happen as it may in natural divine time. That is indeed your biggest thing, as well as the collective's biggest thing. Because you guys want it, should we say, right here, right now.
Yep.
In present moment, space time.
Yep. Now, everything now. That's a human thing.
That is part of your egoic programming, dear one. Yep. Just a hair.
Yep. We need to learn how to sit back. We need to learn how to relax and just allow. Just allow
and embrace and accept all things that are coming to you as learning, teaching devices. As everything but love is temporary, dear one. Love is the only reality. Everything else is part of the illusion of separation. Does that make sense for you, beloved?
Yep.
So we will say often to you, beloved, and we speak to all of you in the collective, dear one, to simply stop trying to fit into the world of your duality and of your fear of programming, but fit into the light and love that which you are, that which you have never left. Fit into the Father, Mother, God, or Boon consciousness being that which you are a part of. Stop relying on outcomes, because indeed, the Father, Mother, God, Creator has no need for outcomes in your perfect divine time. It is only your manifestation to the dear one. Does that make sense for you? Does that make sense, beloved?
Yes. Yes.
Indeed, it is your time to manifest what your truest heart's desire. And one can do this by simply going within and seeing it unfold in your mind's eye, dear one. Envision it. Keep envisioning your perfect world of peace, harmony, protection, love, stability, unity, divine feminine and masculine energies, co-creating the world of duality together. Does that make sense, beloveds? It is a pivotal time for you, beloveds, upon your planet to exercise one's creative power. Step into the role of creator, that which you are, as I am. Does that make sense, beloved? All things are done with I am. What you declare and decree becomes so, dear one. So if one says, I am so tired, or if one says, I am so weak, or I am so, whatever you declare and decree, you become that which you have said, dear one. This is why one Yeshua simply says, be mindful of your thoughts, feelings, words, and deeds, dear one, as you send a ripple of energy out into the ethers with your intentions. And Father, Mother, God, Creator, our balloon is saying, okay, you want this? I'll hand it back to you. And that's what is happening, dear one.
Yeah.
Many upon your planet are focusing on the lowest vibration, that is, of fear. And you are seeing fear everywhere, dear one, therefore manifesting and intensifying itself, as it is a domino effect of one's thoughts, feelings, emotions, and perception, dear one. As one cannot let the darkness win. Love and light wins, dear one. The darkness has no power over you unless you give it authority to do so, dear one. Does that make sense for you?
Yes. Yes.
It is indeed that simple, beloved. You are the power of change. If you want to see more light and love, be more light and love toward yourself and others, regardless of their perceptions of you or over you. They're going to perceive how they wish anyway, as indeed that is divine free will, dear one. You cannot change them, but one can change oneself. Does that make sense for you? Is there any other questions, beloved?
No, I just wanted to make a comment because as you were speaking, I got like a channeled message, I'm guessing from either an aspect of you or my higher self. I don't know. It came right
It was
through
me,
me.
dear one.
Yeah, and that was
It was
about
me.
becoming the master of your mind because becoming a light master or light warrior also has to do with becoming the master of your mind. That means minding your thoughts. Every little thought that comes into your warehouse that is your brain, you need to be monitoring your thoughts all day long and catching them as you think them. The minute you think you're thinking a negative or fear-based thought, you need to immediately say cancel, 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 and overcome it with a positive mantra that is the opposite. For example, if the thought comes in your head, what if China blows up America? Then you need to go cancel, 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 and say we are always safe and protected, and God will never allow that to happen. So that is basically what you're doing when you're, in order to be a true light warrior, you have to become the master of your mind.
Indeed, dear one, we often say, you are the master of your own duality and therefore perception. You indeed are. You can manifest what you declare and decree, dear one, by your words, thoughts, and deeds. As we will say, dear one, be careful. Be careful, as they are energy. All things are energy. It's what you do with the energy that matters, whether you focus on love or fear. It's up to you, beloveds. And that's what our beloved Kimberly is just saying, dear ones. It is in your hands. Be mindful of your thoughts, feelings, words, actions, and deeds for oneself and or others, as all serves as mirrors for another beloved brother or sister, dear ones. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah.
It is indeed that simple. This is a mere test of your power. Use your power wisely, with light and love, healing and peace and oneness, not for negative reasons, dear one, but for the reasons of light and love. That is, Father, Mother, our womb consciousness, dear ones. Does that make sense, beloved?
Yep.
Does that help answer your question, beloved?
Yes, I have one thing to say about it, and it's kind of a conundrum because on one hand, it's so simple, like how to get from A to B is very simple, but at the same time, it's very difficult because it's so hard to stop thinking because all of us on earth here, our brains have been programmed to think all the negative fear-based thoughts since we were in the womb because our parents did that too, so did all our ancestors, and it's in our DNA. It comes through the DNA with all of the wrong beliefs and negative stinking thinking comes through the DNA. It comes from past lives. It comes from birth in this life, and everybody is programmed by the TV, the schools, the churches, whoever. They're programmed to constantly think the negative thoughts and worry and fear and more worry and more fear. And so it's real easy. The explanation of how to fix that is an easy explanation. However, actually doing it, like actually practicing it, is very challenging for people who are this deep in mind control for billions of years.
Indeed, dear one. And this is why we have, should we say, written these works of, as you would say, literature to help humanity unravel their truth that they are love, they are light, they are not programmed by your perception any longer than you give it credence, dear one. Once one lets go of your fear-based programming and perceives that one is good enough, that one is powerful enough, that one is love, that one is enough for one's beingness and loved by that which is the comforter creator, you can do anything, dear one.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense for you? We indeed
Yes.
know your programming based upon your beliefs and your upbringings and your, should we say, your past embodiments and your generational programming, dear one, is not easy for some to let go of, but for some it is. It depends on the soul, dear one, as indeed all souls have a divine plan. These beings that are struggling to, should we say, let go of the third density programming, dear one, serve as a lesson for you, beloved, to reprogram yourself into I am love, I am light, I am peace. As you indeed are, I am. Does that make sense, beloved? So
Mm-hmm.
all things that are in your world of duality, including your programming, serve as a learning teaching device, and it is only temporary, dear one, because indeed you indeed go back to your own reality that is love in your completion of your incarnation, dear one, do you not?
Yep.
So indeed, this is only a temporary, should we say, illusion of separation, dear one. As indeed, we love you. You are loved. The Comforter Creator, our womb, loves you, His perfect divine children, as you are perfect, just as you are, but your, should we say, programming would perceive you as, I'm not perfect. Yeshua is the only Son of God. One Yeshua never said that, dear one. I am indeed not the only son or daughter of the Father and Mother God. You indeed are, as I am. All of you are sons and daughters of the Father and Mother. Not one Yeshua, single, dear one, but all of you are divine aspects of the one that I mirrored back to you. It is your time to mirror it back for others, beloved. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah.
You need to be the Christ, that what you saw within one Yeshua, be it within yourself. Modify it and magnify it to others, dear one. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah.
Be the Christ for them as I was the Christ for you, beloved. Lead by my example of light, love, compassion, oneness, tenderness, mercy, forgiveness, power, unity, and simplicity, dear one. As you have the same power, dear one. It is indeed that simple, beloveds. Does that make sense for you? Does that help
Yep.
answer your question, beloved one?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Indeed. This
Okay.
is indeed why when Yeshua asked to be here with you and your time and space, to be on camera with you, to show that love, to give that love to humanity so they could feel that love at which they are and have never therefore left. Because indeed, you are not separate from the Comforter Creator, dear one. None of you are separate. We are all one in the Christ consciousness, dear one. That is but love. It is indeed that simple, dear one. Everything else does not matter, dear one. It is your programming of misperception. That is what missing the mark is. Thinking without love. Thinking from fear and darkness and deception. Does that make sense, beloveds? It is your time to be as I, when Yeshua, am, as indeed you are. Does that make sense, dear one? That is indeed why when Yeshua simply says, I am your beloved brother, friend, and equal, dear one, for in truth I am. There's no separation between you and the being you know as Yeshua. That is an illusion, dear one. Do not put me on a pedestal, but the teachings that one Yeshua gave on a pedestal, dear one, as indeed you are, that I am. Does that make sense, beloved?
Yep, absolutely. Is there any last minute advice you have before we end our video?
We will say, dear one, that it's important to make things more simpler for oneself instead of making it complicated by thinking negative thoughts and negative energy. Make it more simpler by awakening in the morning and saying, thank you, Father, Mother, Creator, for another beautiful life that I have been given to do your free will and let your will be done through me with the purest intention of light and love. Not my will, but thine be done. And see what happens, beloved friends, as it is energy of light and love, as indeed you are. Does that make sense, beloveds?
Yep, makes perfect sense.
Is there any other questions, beloved?
Nope, I'm just watching the time because I've got hungry family I've got to go cook dinner for. So
Indeed, dear one. We will say that we love all of you, beloved brothers and sisters of light divine. We can send our peace, our compassion, and tenderness and mercy to all of you, beloveds, as we are your equals, as I am indeed your beloved brother and friend and equal, the one you've known simply throughout time and space as Sananda, Yeshua the Christ. I come not to teach you, but to love, honor, and serve, in all that which you are, that is, I am. I am indeed the bringer of truth, the Prince of Peace, as indeed you are. And so indeed it is, beloveds. And so indeed it is.
thank you. Thank you, brother, for coming on. Thank you, Michaela.
Hi, Sissy.
Hi. So, if you're new to this channel, when Michaela, when he takes her over and speaks through her, she kind of goes into, I don't know
I go
what,
back home.
like a waiting, huh? You go
I
back
go,
home?
I kind of go back home. I go into my higher self mode,
Okay. So she doesn't have any clue what she just said, so she'll have to watch the video so that she
just like all
knows.
of you.
Yeah, she's gonna have to actually watch the recording because she has no clue what he said. So,
And a
which
lot of
is,
times when Yeshua was doing his thing, and I come back to the body and I listen to it, I start crying because it's so loving for all of you. So we hope that you guys can feel that love
yeah,
for all of you.
yeah. We want you to feel the love that he broadcasts because it is very potent. I mean, I always feel it whenever he speaks to me. I just feel bathed in that unconditional love. And if you're having a hard time with that, I'm not really sure what to say to help you with that because it's just, to me, I really just feel it. And, it might be, if you don't feel the love, it probably means your heart chakra is closed off. and you need to do some clearing work on your heart chakra, because anybody who has a very open heart chakra, when he speaks, they can 100% feel it.
I
They
cry
feel,
every time.
yeah, yeah. And if you're not feeling that and it's not touching you emotionally somehow, um, ask yourself, go muscle test, use a pendulum, or go see a psychic and ask them to check your heart chakra for you, because you may have some heart chakra blockages going on if you're not feeling that amazing love that comes from him, because everything he ever says is love, not fear. And that is the biggest discernment, to know when entities are speaking through people, because if somebody's channeling a negative entity, there's always going to be a lot of happy, flowy, fluffy like words in there, but then they're going to throw in this one lie somewhere in there. They're going to throw a wrench, and the wrench is going to be fear-based somewhere. If there's any fear at all, it's 100% a negative entity. And every now and then you'll get these beings of darkness that will channel happy, fluffy, loving messages, and then the third message in suddenly goes dark. Like I've seen people that channeled entities where, the first, I listened to 5 or 10 of their videos. I'm not going to name this specific woman, but there's a very famous woman who has like hundreds and thousands of followers on YouTube. She's a spiritual icon, and she tours all over and speaks. And she channels all these extraterrestrials, especially like grays and all kinds of stuff. And the first several messages of her sounded really good and everything. And then they started to go into dark stuff that, I don't approve of. And then I found out she's being controlled by 6 of these gray extraterrestrials are actually controlling her. So you have to really watch it, because if you're on somebody's channel and you listen to 1 or 2 videos and they sound really great, and then the third one you're like, no, 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 that's not okay. You know that it's time to turn the channel off, because on my channel you will never get messages of fear. I only spew love into the air, not fear. I don't spew fear, I spew love. I'm broadcasting love. And the same with Michaela and Yeshua. How you know that she's the real deal is because every single thing that she ever says or presents is always 100% love, and you can literally feel it in your heart space.
Because I literally would get told I was channeling a demon.
Yeah, but that you're told that by people who are usually radical Christian Bible thumpers, or by spiritual people who are in their ego.
Yeah.
Usually. Yeah, and they do that to me too. I have them come on
But
my
I
channel.
want nothing but light and love for all of you.
Yeah, and I've had them too. I've had radical Christians come on my channel and tell me that I'm demonic, and that I'm working with demons, and that Jesus, they call him Jesus, which we all know is the wrong name for him. Yeah, and they say, oh, he doesn't speak to any humans. So if you're speaking to him, you're talking to demons, and it's like, okay, whatever.
And if you guys do that to us, we're just going to delete and block you.
Yeah, anybody who posts any negative comments on my channel ever, I just delete, block, delete, block, delete, block, and we send you on your merry way, because we don't need your icky energy. If that's what you're going to do, go keep it for yourself in the 3D and have fun on that other planet that you're going to be hoisted to very soon, any day now. So
exactly.
Yeah. You won't be here to enjoy the future of Earth if you're in your ego and you're spewing hate on others and you're causing division, duality, and separation. You are not going to get to stay here. That's all I have to say. But
exactly.
Anyways, this is going to be a future planet of just pure love. No more hate, no more fear, no more meanness, no more prejudice, no more judging. No more competition, competing with others, all of that. It's all going bye-bye. Thank God. Finally. Woo! Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise God. Because we don't need that anymore. We don't need it. No more dark, negative ego aspects. Every human, in order to come into a physical body, we need to have ego. I've talked about this before, but there is positive ego and negative ego. You need some ego in order to survive in a physical body. So like the need to eat, the need to want to eat tasty food, that's positive ego. Like I have a need to want to go to restaurants that serve healthy, tasty food. That is ego, but it's positive ego. Now, what a negative ego would be, I have a need to go to expensive restaurants so I can show all my friends how highfalutin I am and show off, and that can, now that would be negative ego. If you're like, oh well, I'm going to go to this restaurant so I can show off and make everybody else feel bad and lift myself up onto a platform, that's negative ego. But having a need, having basic needs, like the need to improve yourself, that is positive attitude or positive ego. The need to criticize others is negative ego. If you're constantly criticizing others, that's negative ego. Judging and criticizing others, you should only be judging and criticizing on yourself and constantly trying to become a better version of yourself, because that is what Michaela and I both do. We're always trying to become a better version of ourselves, right?
So we can become better teachers for all of you, better examples for all of you.
Yep, exactly.
That's the reason we're here, to help all of you.
Yep. And since Michaela and I met in this lifetime, her and I have had some interesting situations where I've given her some feedback, and then she goes away and either it doesn't resonate with her, or she talks to Yeshua and he says, yep, Kimberly was right. You need to do this. And she listens and she does it. And just like she gives me feedback
And vice versa.
Yeah, it goes the other way too. If
she does the same thing with me.
Yeah. If she gives
sometimes she'll ask me to ask him something, and then she'll say, because I'm doubting myself, and I'm like, well, stop doing that, because this is what he said.
Yeah, I doubt like, sometimes.
Yeah. That's part of the ego, but we all have that.
Yeah, that's part of ego, is doubt, blame,
and we're
guilt,
no
shame,
different than any of you. We're all equal to you. We're all brother and sister here. So please only take what resonates and leave the rest.
Yep, we are equal to you. Michaela and I do not feel like we're more important than you, that we're higher than you, that we're smarter than you, that we're better looking than you, whatever. We don't believe any of that. We're not more special than you. We're not chosen. Yeah. You know, we chose to incarnate on the earth. Nobody chose us. We made a choice to come here and help everybody. So we're not like special chosen people. I'm getting kind of tired of everybody in the spiritual community talking about the chosen ones. There's no
Yeshua did a video on that subject on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Talking about the chosen ones and what that actually means.
Yeah, because we're not like some kind of special people. We made a choice to incarnate here. We made a choice, not we weren't handpicked and chosen like oh, there were 20 billion souls and they said, okay, you Kimberly, you Michaela, you guys get to go to Earth, the rest of you go back to hell or wherever you came from. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. We all make the choices. So there's the only chosen ones is every one of us is a chosen one because we make our own choices.
Yeah. We're all chosen by God, so it doesn't matter.
We are all chosen by God, exactly. But I have to run right now, unfortunately. So I'm just going to say thank you so much. And then Michaela, how can people get your book? You're charging how much for it?
I will send you the links to see, and then you can put the link wherever you need to put it, and then they can.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I will put the link in the description down below, and then I think it's what, $17.77 for the book?
It's $17.77, yeah.
Yeah, for the book, which is I think what he has me charging for my book that I wrote for him as well, the Walking with Yeshua book. I think that's also $17.77 or something like that. So anyways, well, all right. Well, we thank you all for joining us here today. We hope some of this resonated with you and was helpful for you. And hopefully we can continue doing this work as long as possible, and at least until everybody goes and gets their own personal training and can do the same thing we're doing, right? Everybody's going to go get their training, and then we won't need to do this so much anymore. Yeah. Exciting times are coming, you all. Don't go in fear. Just stay in the moment, breathe, just stay in the moment, laugh your head off. Last night, Yeshua was poking fun at me quite a bit and making me laugh.
He does it with me too.
Yeah, he makes fun of me, he teases me, and then he tells me about how he has he calls it a remembrance. He speaks different than we do. He said, I have a remembrance of when you were poking fun at me, because 2,000 years ago when we were hanging out, I was poking fun at him because I was quite a bit older than him by Probably like, let me think, 7 years or something. I think I was like 7 years older than him or something like that. So anyway, so I would I would poke fun at him.
I would too.
Yeah, I did it quite a bit. So yeah. And Miriam of
And he's just
Magdala,
keeping us on our toes.
yep, absolutely. Miriam Magdala was about 9 years younger than I was in that lifetime. She was about 9 years younger than me. So, but anyways, so yeah, we like to poke fun at each other because we're family. We're all soul family, and that's what we do. And we like to make each other laugh because laughter is one of the highest frequencies next to love, love and laughter. Live, laugh, love. I actually have some candles. I don't know if I ever told you I have these battery operated candles. They're fake candles. And they say on them, live, laugh, and love. So, yeah, laughter's the best medicine, as Yeshua says. Yep.
Yeah.
So, all right, you all. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Please like and share this video with anybody you feel it will benefit, and subscribe to my channel if you like the content I am putting out. And all of my information and links to different stuff, my website, books, classes. If you want a reading with either Michaela, I'm going to give you Michaela's contact info if you want to do stuff with her. You're doing readings, right? Or no?
Yeah.
Are you still doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's
Yeah.
doing
Because that's what he wants us to do. So I'm still doing it.
yeah, so they're doing, so
Yeah.
you can actually talk to Yeshua through Michaela. You can do a session with them. So I'll have that info in the description. And then I'm not doing phone or video sessions anymore. I'm just doing email soul readings where you get 38 different questions about who you are, where you came from, how many guides and angels you have, what kind of soul you are, where your vibration is at, all of that kind of stuff. You can go to my website, spiritualgrowthjourneys.com, and you can see the whole list of all the things that I go over in your extremely complicated soul reading. Right now I'm booked up into March, I think, beginning of March. So just wanted to warn you all, if you book one of those with me, beginning of March is the next opening. So, but they're very affordable, very inexpensive, and you're getting a lot of information. You're getting way more information than most people do in these types of things. So anyways, all right. Well, thank you all. Thank you, Michaela. And hopefully we'll talk again soon. And
Yeah. Hopefully we get to do this more often.
yep, exactly. We love all of you. And please take care of yourselves and really, really spend time going within. It's the most important thing right now. So, all right. Bye bye.